Setting your timer. Hey, you want me to set the one on the wall so you can just stare at that?
I mean, that would be nice. 27.
Hold on, talk. Check your mic.
Check.
Yeah, you sound like an asshole still.
Okay, just making sure. We don't want to change anything. Don't want anybody off.
No. Why would we do that? What's up, guys? Coach Darrell from Cast Iron Workouts back with the asshole.
What's going on? I guess that's me.
Just me and Mikey today. No Rachel. So another good episode coming at you. What's going on? What's happening?
Just chilling, hanging out.
Yeah. How's bio?
Bio's interesting, man. I'm trying to put together the stuff from nutrition that you talk about.
Yeah.
And, no, seriously.
Okay.
With lipids, carbohydrates, sugars, and because for me, if I understand the foundation of something, I could control it. So if I understand that a little more, I can apply it. So especially the stuff that that you talk about.
So does this mean you're getting rid of Big Macs?
No, it means I know what my body's doing more when I choose that Big Mac.
I just said I could control it. There's going to be 3 a day. It's controlled.
You're not listening.
All right. So biology.
Yeah.
What else? What else is good, man?
Just trying to get in here as much as I can. That's been feeling good.
Okay.
I'm feeling really strong right now. I just have too much fat in my midsection. That's it. That's my only complaint. But no, my pants are super loose on me right now. My upper body strength feels like it's really kind of hitting one of those pushes. I'm getting better.
You're gaining strength.
Yeah,
you're getting stronger.
Yeah. And I'm almost in running shape, like to where I could have my stride. Almost. But that first mile's still like tough to breathe through.
Yeah.
And usually it's not, and I still feel dense. Like I could still run as far as I wanted to, and maybe at a decent time, but I just feel dense while I'm moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel
So.
heavy.
Feel heavy. Yeah.
No. I know that feeling.
No
man.
stride. No, I'm not just flying through, like having fun. And
I feel like
frolicking.
Feel like you're kind of lugging along, and
it's a little more grind. But because my strength is there, it just says, "Don't worry, we got this."
Yeah.
It's not as fun, I guess.
I have to work way harder at it, right? That's I know that's always the hard part.
Yeah.
Like, with the stuff that Rachel and I have been doing, we're doing more of the strength stuff, and I'm eating more carbohydrates, and I'm filling out a little bit more, and I haven't gained a ton of weight. I've probably gained 4, maybe 5 pounds, right? Six I think was the heaviest, and on those days, I'm like, what? I feel like I weigh like 220 again. Like I feel heavy.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to run them. That last gear is not there. And I feel like I'm just pounding pavement, right? Instead of just like where you can run and just go and you can kick it up when you need to. I'm like, there's no kick up right
I used to be able to run faster when I wanted to and then do a slower run.
Yeah.
Instead of walking. Like I could just like you said, yeah.
Funny name, but like when you do that, like in training, right? Where you run basically intervals within your run, right? It's called fartlek training, right? And like you run, say I run my regular pace for 5 minutes, and then I run at 80 to 90% of my top speed for a minute, and then I bring it back down to my regular pace, right? And that's how you kind of, it's how you progress with your run speed and your run pace. And I know what you mean. Like when I was running more, and I'm still running a decent amount, 3 or 4 days a week, but just mileage is down. It's not the main focus right now, but when I was running more and I was focused on running, I would do that, right? To kind of increase my speed of like mile times and things like that, and my splits. And it helps. It's hard as hell when you first start doing that though. Like when you first start, it's hard to bring your heart rate back down
Yeah.
after the fact, right? You run And I've done it different ways where I'll do like 5 or 6 minutes regular pace, kick it up for a minute, right? And it's usually a minute is the max time I'll usually push and then bring my pace back down. Or I'll do like 8 to 9 minutes, do basically a mile, push for a minute, and then bring it back down to that same pace. And like when you first start doing that, like you're trying to bring that heart rate down as you're still running your regular pace. It's rough.
Yeah,
rough. It's rough to get that breathing down for sure. For sure. That was something I know, like I said, when I first started doing that, I struggled with. It was tough. But it definitely helps. It helps, help my mile pace, and help my splits like crazy. What else is going on? Anything else? I know you've been busy with a lot of little side projects here and there, doing little things. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I just kind of, especially last week, focused on bio. It was our first kind of wave of. Well, I guess the test is coming up, but we had to turn a bunch of stuff in. I just kind of was like, I can't screw that up.
Yeah,
I don't.
One class, man. You got one job to do.
The finish line's right there, man. I just can't. I can't drop the ball on that one.
Yeah.
Been busy with some other side work, just trying to keep busy.
Yeah.
I don't know, looking for full-time work, but I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. I'm all right.
Yeah. Trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out.
You did your card show the other day?
Yeah, man. We yesterday we had one. Dalton and I set up a baseball card shop in the gym. We're part of a Bay Area card collectors group. If you watched Dalton's episode from last week, kind of heard us talking about that. From last week. When did we do that? We filmed it 2 weeks ago and it released this past week.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we actually have done it twice now. We did one in the office at the gym, and that was cool, but it was a little cramped. So I cleared out space in the main part of the gym since we can't use the gym as a gym, and kind of spread some tables out and set up shop, man. Basically had like our own little baseball card shop. And Mikey came out, set up his little table yesterday and put some stuff out. So it was pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool meeting some of these different collectors. Everybody's from the Bay Area, and hearing how people got into collecting, how long they've been collecting. Like a lot of them invest in cards, and they've got all their different strategies. Like we were talking about a couple of the guys yesterday that came through, Vanson, who does nothing but like graded cards, and he's flipping those, buying them low, selling them high. And then you had a guy like Dave who comes in who's been collecting for years, and he's talking about like Mickey Mantle rookies that he has, and like just high-end, crazy vintage stuff. And I asked him about grading, and he's like, I don't know. I got dude's probably got hundreds of thousands of dollars in cards.
That's crazy.
And
he was talking about playing basketball with
Lopez brothers. Yeah, with their oldest brother. Yeah,
Brooke Lopez and
Robin.
Robin
And Brooke's oldest brother.
Their older brother who didn't go to the NBA but played
at Santa Clara. And he was talking about how that dude just abused him at Club Sport one day in Pleasanton. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, man. Pretty funny. So we had the card shop set up. Dalton had his had baseball tryouts yesterday, so that was kind of a big deal in our house. He's pretty fired up. And I guess I didn't, this was the year that the way they did it this year for tryouts was they kind of cycled the kids in. They didn't want parents in there. They don't want a lot of people standing around. Right. So they put the kids through like different stations of drills. You got to hit and field and throw and pitch, and they kind of cycle them out a different way. So I wasn't there. Mikey D was there. Said he saw Dalton go through. He said he looked good. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I know they're supposed to finish tryouts today. The coaches are supposed to draft, I guess, teams tonight. And then I'm assuming we're going to find out this week, like, all right, Dalton's on a team. And
cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
How many teams?
It depends on what division he makes, because he's at that cutoff where it's the upper division is 9, 10, and 11-year-olds. So he's 9, right? So if for the way it's going to work this year is there's going to be very few 9-year-olds that make that upper division. Most of them are going to play AA, so they'll play down that division. And I know there's 6 teams in AAA, and they're saying somewhere between 6 and 8 teams, I believe, for AA.
Okay, so this is a pretty big pool.
Yeah. So, but that's down. So, 6 teams in AAA. I think last year they had 10. So I know a lot of people just aren't signing up this year. They're just not ready to do the condensed season and get kids. Anyways,
everybody's just thrown off.
Yeah, so things are just a little off.
So he's gonna play with the 6-year-olds and just dominate.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we're gonna send him back down to T-ball. He's gonna be 1.5 feet taller than every other kid out there. So it's a movie where dude walks out with a birth certificate. And it's his writing in a crayon. It says "I am 12" and it has a picture of him.
Oh, he's like a grown man. Right?
Yeah. I think it was like Benchwarmers or something.
I was
stupid movie. What else, man? I'm trying to think of anything else exciting, fun news going on.
Weather's getting better.
Yeah,
that's
man. It's starting to warm up a little bit, which is great. And it's like I get mad at the same time because the trees are all starting to bloom out here, and my allergies hate me. Yeah. So that's always fun.
I get hit every time I run over here. So
yeah, welcome to Livermore. welcome to dry ass Livermore. Yeah. So I think that's about it, man. All the new fun stuff that's going on. I ate a boatload of sushi last night, so that was cool. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, I know. That was funny.
Yeah, we got sushi, too.
Mikey rolls in this morning. We're setting up for the podcast and talking about, like, last night. You were asking me if I watched, if Dalton had watched his episode on the podcast yet, because we were going to watch it, and Dalton wanted to watch, like, Ice Age last night. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And it was one of the few times I hadn't prepped food, didn't have food. And I'm like, dude, let's get sushi. So we hammered sushi. I ate sushi till I was uncomfortably full. I ate too much sushi last night, guys. Way too much sushi to the point where it hurt to stand up straight. So that was fun. But it was delicious. It was delicious. Yeah, man, I think that's about it.
Yeah, things are opening a little bit more again. Those tiers are going to start to drop. I think Alameda County's next week.
Yeah, I know. Got a lot of people starting to get vaccinated, which is awesome. You know, it's going to help everybody else, even if you're not. Build up a little bit of immunity, and let's get people healthy, get people safe, and I know things aren't going to be normal for a long time, but let's get back to a little bit of normalcy. Yeah, I know Livermore just announced schools are going to reopen partially reopened. They're going to be partial distance.
The fall
learning.
Or soon?
No,
Sooner.
in 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
3 weeks, March 22nd, I believe. So Tara will be back in a classroom starting March 22nd. Yeah.
Yes, San Ramon, I think, or at least a friend of mine who lives in San Ramon. Her kids went back in person.
Yeah, and I know
a couple weeks now.
I know it's hybrid. That's what I was trying to think of. It's like the hybrid models, right, where they send them back.
They send them back home at 12.
Well, yeah, they do. So,
no, because my friend's kid was like, "Wait a minute, I got to do more homework."
Well, and that's the part that a lot of I know, and I'm not going to get into it too much, but there's a lot of people complaining that kids weren't back in school. Right, and they want the kids to have go back because they need the socialization, and I agree. You need to socialize kids, and they need that. But when the kids are going back right now, they're not going to have recess. They're not going to have lunch at school. There's not going to be that downtime, that playtime. It's just not set up that way. They're going to go back. They're going to go to school for a short block, and then have to go home and do their individual work at home. Yeah. Right, that independent work at home. So. Yeah, it's gonna be different.
That's a little weird to me.
Yeah,
I mean, you're there 4 hours. You don't want to be there for 6 or 7.
No, they're gonna do it because there's still kids that are gonna be doing remote learning. Okay. Right?
So they got
Dalton's not going back.
So they got to stay on that schedule.
Yeah, we're not sending Dalton back. He's gonna do his independent work in the morning, and then he'll be online with the teacher in the afternoon.
Got it.
Right. For us, it was one of those things like, okay, they're gonna go back end of March. You're gonna have 2 months basically. With spring break in the middle of that, like after they're there for a week, they're going on spring break for a week. But you're going to have basically 2 months of time. That first month, like for Dalton's age, those kids are going to be learning how to be in a classroom again.
Yeah.
Let's be real, dude, is how much learning is really going to happen. It's going to be, nope, Johnny, you need to sit in your chair right now. You need to do this. And it's like,
on schedule,
Yeah, so... my thought, Tara's thought was like, okay, and she's a teacher,
Yeah.
So he's going to stay with the online, right, through the rest of the year. We know he's going to get some socialization through baseball, so that's cool. And luckily, we have a kid who is just killing it with the online. He is thriving. He's learning a lot. He's probably smarter than I am already, which, it is what it is. So yeah, man, it's a lot of things starting to fall into place and happen, and hopefully everybody is just smart and doesn't go buck wild. Like as things start to open up, and people don't get too carried away too fast, and I basically don't let their guard down too early, right? Because we are so close to taking huge leaps forward. I would hate to see people trying to do that too early and having things
unravel,
have to take steps back. Right. Yeah. The good part is we are starting to warm up. I know with like the whole coronavirus thing, it's a SARS type of, SARS-CoV-2, right? It is seasonal.
Plus the flu's not getting hammered on the other end. So
it's a seasonal thing. So as we start to warm up, things should get better. People are more vaccinated. Hopefully it just keeps steamrolling for us, So yeah, some other things that I think aren't talked about enough, and I know I've mentioned it before, is there are things people can do to help themselves. It's called move your body,
be healthy,
get some sunlight, eat well, keep inflammation levels down within the body. Maybe take vitamin D3. That's some pretty simple stuff that you could do, like to give yourself an extra layer of protection, I guess, right?
Yeah, set yourself up for the success.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, I get frustrated with because it's not talked about a lot. Well, how do you help yourself with something like this? Well, build up your immune system. How do you do that? Well, move your body, work out maybe, eat decent food, get sunlight, like all these things that everybody, I want to say that they don't want to do it, but it's like the easy.
It's overlooked.
Yeah, it's that low-hanging fruit that nobody wants to grab. It's like, well, look, dumb shit, you can help yourself a little bit just by doing these things. Do it, and you ain't got to go balls to the wall when you're working out and getting nuts. Like, if you go for a couple walks a day or something, just do something.
Get active, stay busy.
Yeah, for sure. So training wise, man, you said that feel like you're getting stronger, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I know with everything going on, everything in life with biology and, looking for a full-time gig, and, working on side projects, I know it's easy just to show up and, work out and not really set those goals for yourself. Anything that you got your eye on right now that you're trying to accomplish, like workout wise, training wise, running wise?
It's my conditioning.
Yeah.
So something
I better change tomorrow's workout. We're gonna make that.
Well, like I'm looking at that workout.
No, don't look at it.
And
don't get scared.
No, I'm not scared. It's just like that's what I want to get better at. Is
like scared.
So we'll do. What I notice is there'll be like a couple days of just weights. You'll just blast our legs, blast our arms. And I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I try to look for patterns, and I'm like, all right, pretty soon something is going to push me to where I'm going to have to run and use this strength that I'm building. You're going to combine it, and it's going to like destroy me, meaning like with breathing, but it's going to test that strength and stability. And can I, and we all do it. It's just a matter of how we do it.
Right.
It's not like I fail and fall over, but it's like, that's where like you get winded, but
that's false.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen multiple times.
Actually, it does happen.
Mike, why are you on the ground? Are you done? No. And there's usually not words that come out. It's just these weird grunts. Anyways, back to.
But yeah, it's a combination of applying those strength movements, for example, like a back squat, or the arm and shoulder work that we do with dumbbells, where you're just doing your sets.
Yep.
You just do them. Just get through these sets and these workouts, and that's that day. So then a couple of days later, whatever I feel like I worked on, you're going to give me something to where I got to run or sprint or do a set of burpees, something that's going to blast my
breathing.
My breathing.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have to pick up those dumbbells that I was nicely pressing, or doing the rows, and just something that's going to shock me a little bit.
And we do that a little,
and
right?
It's going to test that strength that,
yeah, we do that a little. And it's one of those things, like, I've said this multiple times. One of the hardest things to do is do something that is going to elevate your heart rate, right? Get you breathing really hard, get you huffing really hard, get you winded, get you out of breath, and then do a strict movement.
Yeah.
Right? And I've used different examples of this, but I know there's different things. Like, I always say, like, one of the hardest things for me to do is, do something that's going to crank my heart rate. And one of those things, and it sounds weird because it's going to partner two semi-strength movements together, but do front squats where you have a compressed airway. You have something crushing your chest, right? I'm talking heavier front squats, right, for a decent amount of reps. You breathe really hard. You brace really hard with your core on front squats. You put the bar back on the rack. It takes you a minute to recover. Doing something like that and going into, like, a strict pull-up is one of the fucking hardest things in the world. Like, dude, like, one of the hardest things in the world. And that will blast me every time. And I do that with you guys too. Now, not necessarily with pull-ups, because we don't have a lot of people.
Right.
We're not able to do pull-ups outdoors right now, right? So we're doing a lot of pulling with barbells and things like that. But if you notice, there's a lot of times, though, where we will do that. And it's for me, it's a way to, number one, test your strength under fire, right? And make sure that when you are tired, we can keep your form. Because that's where, what do we do, right? You start to get winded. You start to come into, say, an overhead press or something when you're just gassed. Mm-hmm. You start to press, you get tired, and I'm yelling, okay, set them down. Set them down. Okay, that's where that threshold is, and we're going to start to try and slowly build that. Anyways.
Exactly. But, yeah, the idea would be to just, it's going to be hard, but push through it and get through it steadily.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we're trying to build your conditioning. I'll keep that in mind.
Great.
All the members here at Whip Fitness and Barbell, you can thank Mike for the next 3 weeks worth of programming. Yeah, okay.
So I mean, that's where it's at. That's where it feels good. If you could get through those things, because then I know if I could do those things, then running by itself isn't going to be a problem.
Right.
And then I think, and then after that, that's when I would be more conscious of numbers, maxes, and things like that, because it's like, what good is it for me if I could deadlift 300 pounds again, but I can't run and use my body to its performance,
right. You want to be able to have a combination of abilities, right? You don't want to be that, like, you don't want to be a power lifter, you don't want to be a marathon runner,
right?
You want to have the ability to do a little bit of everything, right? Yeah. And I think that's a lot of people, right? Is you want general fitness, right? General physical preparedness, right? Called GPP when you're talking about that in training, right? And I think that's what a lot of people are really truly looking for, right? Because if, let's be real, like, you're going to come here, you're going to deadlift 300 pounds, right? And you're going to do that, and you're going to be pumped, and everybody that's there with you in that class is going to be fired up for you. Everybody's going to be clapping. Yeah, Mike, good job, dude. You pulled that. You're going to walk out of here. You're going to go home. You're going to eat something. You're going to talk to your buddy at, let's say you're at work. You're going to be like, yeah, man, I pulled 300 pounds today at deadlift. They're like, I don't give a fuck. Because it doesn't mean anything to them, right?
No context for them.
Yeah. It doesn't mean anything to them. But to you, it's this big thing. Yeah. It's cool. And within the gym setting, it's cool.
Yeah.
And I think for most people, like, they kind of start to realize that of, like, okay, I don't need to have these huge numbers. I need to have the fastest times. I just want to feel good in all areas of everything that I'm doing, right? And I want to look halfway decent. And I think that's, in general, man, when you're talking about the gym and people working out and cast iron members and Whip Fitness and Barbell members and, people that go to 24-hour fitness, most of them have the same goals, right? I'd say 80% of the people have the same goals. You don't get a ton of pure power lifters. You don't get a ton of pure Olympic lifters. You don't get a ton of marathoners.
Right.
You don't get, you know what I mean?
Especially the treadmills at the gym.
Yeah. Right. You ever trying to run a marathon on a treadmill? Oh. Dude, that So like if I was ever taken prisoner, if I was ever taken prisoner, and you want the easiest way to torture me, put me on a treadmill and tell me to run a marathon. Physically, I'm capable of it. Mentally, you would break me in about 3.5 minutes. Like, I would rather go outside in the middle of the fucking summertime here in Livermore when it's 105, and I'd rather go run a marathon then than just have perfect conditions inside, air conditioned, and put me on a treadmill. Like, I hate treadmills, dude.
I don't like them either.
Oh my God, I absolutely hate them. Like, I'm a dude. I go bonkers.
I hate watching people on treadmills.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and I can get. What's funny is I can get on the bike right here, like the assault bike. I can hop on a rower because that stuff, like, I'm doing sprint type work on that. Right, it's short, but like if you told me to get on the rower like Rachel did and row a marathon, that's a whole nother level of batshit crazy.
I agree.
That Rachel doing that sealed the deal to me that she's a fucking psychopath. Like in a good way, you know. I mean,
certified badass.
Yeah, and like in a training way, you know. And I hope she doesn't watch this because I don't want her getting a big head about herself. But it's one of those, dude. Like
we'll edit that out.
Yeah, might cut that shit. But honestly, like you can sit down on a rower for 4 hours. Yeah. For 4+ hours, whatever it was it took her to do that. I'm like, you're crazy. Like, you've got a whole nother level to, like, your capabilities. You know, and I've said that about, like, Rachel in particular a ton of times is, like, Rachel does not understand the type of strength that she possesses. Like, through training, like, through strength training, through endurance training, like, she really does.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it come in both areas. And it's, like, it's kind of scary. And, like, a lot of times, like, I don't like working out there for that reason. Like, we'll go through workouts, and I'm like, hey, look over there. And I'm, like, kicking weights off her bar and, like, trying to level the playing field. Yeah. Yeah, man. So, I don't know how we got to this point.
We were talking about most people, 80% of people's goals.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the treadmill.
That's right. About 80% of people's goals, man. You know, most people kind of have that same goal in mind of, like, you know, I want to look halfway decent. I want to be decent at a little bit of everything and not feel like a complete newbie when if you tell me to go do X, Y, or Z, you know, and they want to feel good, look good, and, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean,
that's about it.
I'm 212. I want to get at least to 200, if not further. And, it's all in my midsection right now. You know, it's like
Big Max.
Well, and that's the thing. I've been doing a lot better with that, too. You know,
Max.
I notice when I have, like, I think I had In-N-Out with somebody,
I didn't tell you to eat them with the bun, dummy.
Well, I'm at In-N-Out, man. I'm going to eat, and I don't, you know, as much as I've been pulling back, you know, I'm going to eat the damn bun. It's like, and then, you know, the sushi last night, the rice, I'm not even eating that stuff, you know, no rice, no potato, you know. And it's working. It's, I think, you know, feeling better. Clothes are looser. I'm fitting into shirts I haven't fitted in a couple of years. No
That's
shit.
good.
No shit. I'm like, all right, I don't have to get rid of that.
That's good.
This thing shrank. It's like, the dryer, man. It's like, it's funny.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Like, when you start to see stuff like that, right?
And I try to be cool with, you know, I don't drink milk. I don't, you know, I don't have a sweet tooth. But I'm trying to keep it cool, I guess, with cheese.
Yeah.
But about once a week.
That adds up, dude.
Yeah.
That adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, you started talking about cutting out cheese. Like, that cuts out a lot of calories, man.
Yeah,
that's a lot. Tough. I mean, you know, like I said, calories aren't the end-all, be-all, right? But, like...
Right. I mean, if
they
I
matter.
Head in that direction quicker. You know? Yeah. And healthy, you know, at the same time.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to destroy me the way I'm going, but I've never had it, you know... There was probably a second where I was just way too heavy, actually, you know, for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I knocked that out. But now I just want to, you know, dump this right here.
Yeah.
So
that's cool, man. It just reminded me yesterday, you know, we had a little card shop going on, and Jerry came by. Right? And you know Jerry. Jerry, he's been a member on and off at the gym. He's actually Dalton's baseball coach, I think, the last 4 years. And I was his assistant coach, and just good dude, man, good people. And Jerry's a big dude, right? Big fella. And, you know, I think he came in yesterday he's been back on it. We talked a little bit, and right now he can't get to the gym, just with logistics of things going on. So he's been walking, right? Just purely walking, and like dialed in his eating and whatever. Dude, and he came in yesterday. He's like, dude, I'm down 35 pounds. And like, I could see it. Yesterday was that day where he walked in, and I'm like, holy crap. Wow. And it's just a little bit of thought, a little bit of effort, right? And talking about cheese or whatever, whatever those things are that add up within your diet, you clean some of that stuff up, and it's amazing the difference some of that stuff will make, but back to like that 80% of people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think for most people, you have those common goals, those common similarities. And, I've said it before, I've said it multiple times. For me, like, we want more members at the gym. Like right now, we can't really take on new members because we're in a freaking parking lot. But do I want more members at the gym? Yeah, I would love more members at the gym. Do we want more people to do cast iron workouts? Yeah, I want 10,000 members for cast iron workouts. That'd be great. But I want people to be happy with what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if walking is your jam, go for a walk. If running is your jam, go for a walk. Like, do something that makes you feel good. Makes you feel good about yourself, where you are getting that little bit of the endorphins, right? And you're feeling good, and you don't do something in training either that you aren't getting the result that you want. And what I mean by that is, if you're running, right, and I'm not picking on runners because I like to run myself, but if I'm running a ton and I go, man, I'm getting way too thin, or I'm skinny fat and I don't have enough muscle on me, then hey, reevaluate what you're doing.
Right.
If you're not happy with the result, like, hey, let's reevaluate this, and reevaluate every step of it. Maybe you look that way because not just because you're training that way, because you're eating a certain way. Like, look at the big picture here, but back to kind of like what I was saying is, like, do something that you semi-enjoy, or with some people that you semi-enjoy being around. That's one thing, like, I do enjoy about the classes here at the gym is, everybody kind of gravitates towards different classes, right? And it's kind of the people that you like to work out with. Like, we have different vibes at each class. You've been to a lot of the different classes, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I get it where I fit in.
Yeah. That's why Mike doesn't come at all.
I just try to.
But you see that, right? Like with different classes. Like, I'll use the 8 a.m. class, for example, because that's one that you've been hitting. Like, everybody in that class just talks shit to each other, right? Because it's mostly guys, and I'm not saying...
It's like a locker room. No, it really is. In a good way,
Yeah, for sure, in a good way. Because I'm not saying it's just all guys, because we do have women who work out in that class. But...
Well, like Vicky and Kinsey will...
They're there quite a bit, and you'll see that change, too. Like, when teachers are on break, you'll see the teachers coming into that class. And, it's cool. It's cool to see the different types of people that interact and the different way they kind of motivate each other, push each other, hold each other accountable. Like, the guys in that class are hilarious, because like I'll use like Evan as an example, right? Evan comes back to that class and every single person's like, "Hey, you bag of shit, where have you been?" Right? So it's in a fun, and he
I didn't
laughs
say
at
that
it.
to you, Evan. I didn't say that. I don't talk shit to Evan. Should I?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, man. I tried.
But man, it's that fun push, right?
Yeah.
And it's every class has its kind of different vibe to it and whatever, and it's cool to see, man. And and you should have that. If you're working out in a group setting, or if you're working out with a training partner or whatever, you should have that kind of, like Mike was saying, get in where you fit in. Somebody who has the same similarities and likes and dislikes, and not likes and dislikes, but, through training, how you like to push each other and how you like to motivate each other and how you, Yeah, man. It makes a huge, huge difference. And I know, like, for me, I go different directions with it, because there's times where, like with Rachel, right? Like, I work out with Rachel. She pushes me, I push her. Right, and she's a bulldog, and I try to be. I can't be as much, but I try to be, as I guess is tough.
Yeah.
But there's also times too where I'm that person, I like to train by myself. and it's usually like with more the endurance stuff, right? And like I've taken Rachel on longer runs, and she's hated every minute of it. And but I like to do some of that stuff by myself because it's that time where I can get in my own head,
right?
Push myself a little bit, or even just clear thought from the head, right? And I think people need to, kind of evaluate that stuff as like what they truly want, what they truly like. Like, I know some of our members who do cast iron, they like having the programming. Here's your programming done. And they want to go and put their head down, look at what they're doing, grind through it, be done with it. Yeah. And they don't want to be around other people. And it's not because they don't like people. It's more because they just want that block of 30 or 60 minutes, whatever we're doing that day, time to get in, not have to think about anything, put their head down and just go. Yeah. And it's just like me for like when I run, right? It's their time. You don't have a kid yelling at you. You don't have, somebody asking you for this or doing this. Mm-hmm. That is your time. You don't have to communicate with somebody else during that time. And I think that's for a lot of people, they need that. For a lot of people, they really do need that. And that's why, like when people, like over the years have talked about, oh man, I kind of want to come to your gym and, this and that and whatever. And they train on their own, right? And I'll talk to them and be like, well, what are you doing right now? I train by myself and I do this and this and this. Do you enjoy it? Yeah. Well, then maybe, and I not that I don't want to drum up business, but maybe the gym's not for you.
Yeah.
If you enjoy that time by yourself, then maybe that's the way you should roll, Yeah,
it's got to feel good too, because I think stress has a factor on, obviously on our bodies and that mental buildup. Because you're doing tense work, but you're still feeling tense. Like, this should be more of a release and like an endorphin.
Yeah, at least post workout. Right? At least post workout.
But like that after. You shouldn't hate what you're doing. I should hate you, but not what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I get that a lot, Mike. I get that a lot. Like, I hate you. Mm-hmm. I never want to see your stupid face again. All right, see you tomorrow. No, man. It really is. Like, you shouldn't hate what you're doing, right? Don't get me wrong. There's going to be some workouts you go, oh my God, that sucked.
Yeah, but
I never want to do that again.
It shouldn't be. I think I mean macro more than like in the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And usually those are the workouts that after the fact that builds a little bit of character. And that builds, that's one of those like you can look back on, and nobody wants to admit this stuff, but you look back on certain things, and I'll be the first one to say it. I look back at workouts that I've done, I'm like, that was badass. Like, and it gives you that sense of pride. Like, I'm a badass for being able to do that. Whether it was something like short, hard, and fast, or something super long duration. Like, it gives you a sense of pride, right? Like, for me, like, being able to tell people that I've run 6-hour races is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know what I mean? Being able to tell people that I've competed at a fairly high level in Olympic and powerlifting is awesome. It's super cool. And I'm not saying that to sound cocky or come off arrogant. I'm just saying it because, like, I think a lot more people need to find something that they can hang their hat on and be proud of that they've done.
Personal. It's okay to be little, it feels good.
To be proud.
You could lean back on that.
For sure.
Hey, I did that,
Yeah. And I know you have workouts personally like that you've done. Or you have runs like that you've done. You have certain things that you've done physically. I'm just talking physical stuff right now, guys. Physical things that you've done where you're like, man, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. And you're happy to talk about it, right? Yeah. And that's the cool part is if somebody asks you, you're like, hell yeah, I did that. And it's not one of those things where you're trying to boast or brag or whatever.
It feels good to be able to say that you did it.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's done. No one can take it away from you. It doesn't matter that you did steroids. It's like it's done. It's in the books.
Right. Right. Hey, how did you gain 30 pounds in a month, Mike? Like, don't worry about that.
It's done.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Mike, your deadlift went from 300 to 500 in 2 weeks.
It's done. But for me, I think it was I was just happy to finish. What was it, 150 burpees in how long?
25 minutes.
20. Okay, I'm just glad I finished that.
Yeah.
Because that was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
305 deadlift. That was a big deal for me. Really big deal when I did that. Running 10 miles last year with the the 20-pound vest that injured me. But I'm gonna do it again.
Hey, I've got this great idea. Let's throw this vest on. Have you been running? No, I'm gonna throw the vest on and do 10 miles.
Yeah.
So.
What's really stupid is I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, that's.
But at least I've been working out.
Yeah, there's been some sort of conditioning prior to this.
Right.
Yeah. Last year there wasn't. That was dumb. That was right before you started coming back to the gym.
Yeah, it's 2 months before.
Yeah. I think it was like once you were able to get upright and walk normal again, we got you back here after that run.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like my back is broken. It was bad.
Yeah.
But it felt good. Well,
in the moment.
In the moment, it felt great.
In the moment. That's what you call a true runner's high.
Next day, it just wasn't one of those good sores.
No.
Nah, it was beyond.
Yeah, so I think for a lot of people, man, like, they need to find something. You know, find something like that they can hang their hat on a little bit, right? And things to be proud of. And I a couple of years ago, man, it was probably 3, 4, 5 years ago, I wrote on, I had a blog on it's either on my nutrition website or on the Wit Fitness and Barbell site. And I wrote a little blog, and it's probably only a couple paragraphs about competition and how I think my view is that every single person should compete somehow, some way, as an adult, not as a child, but as an adult. Like whether you run a race, whether you do a lifting competition, it could be a fucking Spartan race for all I care. Something to push you and keep you motivated and to keep you accountable. And once you complete that task, it gives you such a sense of pride, right? No matter how you do.
It's like that. It's like that Fight Club feel.
Yeah.
When you see the guys, they start joining and they walk around and they're you could tell they're just different. They're a little proud of something that's just theirs.
Are you telling me we're starting a Fight Club?
I hope so.
Hell yeah. Yep.
But I don't know. I just got that flash with those guys walking around their office jobs.
Yeah, black eye.
Yeah,
but proud about it, right?
But they're they're wearing it with pride.
Yeah.
And they just had that confidence that there's something that they're doing for themselves, and they feel good about it.
Yeah, and that 90% of the population or 95% of the population isn't doing.
And they hadn't done anything like that since they were, I guess, kids. Yeah, we think youth sports, and then we just kind of get released into the world, and it's just kind of, it gives purpose.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and that was like for like me personally, right? Like, I hadn't competed, like I ran like a local 5K, right? Like that was nothing big, right? Okay, sign up, do a 5K. That was like when I first started running. And then I didn't do any I hadn't done any sort of competition or anything like that. And then started looking into Olympic lifting and powerlifting. And then, I found the super total, which is a combined total of Olympic and power. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And when I did, it was like, I talk about opening up Pandora's box with the baseball, like with the baseball card thing. It was kind of the same thing. It was like, it was a rush.
Yeah.
It was like this huge rush of like, this is awesome. And I could give a shit or care less how anybody else did in that competition but myself. It was putting myself in front of a room full of people and putting the spotlight on and like, all right, bitch, what can you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's
it's just challenging myself. And it was like, it was a rush, man. And I loved it. And it was like, for a couple years I competed there. And it was awesome. It was super awesome. And then from there, I was like, okay, the grind of that type of training was beating me up a little bit. And I knew it. And I was carrying a little bit more weight still than what I wanted to. So I got into running, pushing myself through running. And then it was like, all right, well, I want to do something competition-wise here. Should I do a half marathon? I don't know. Maybe I should do a whole marathon. And then I guess my 41st birthday, I mapped out a half around town. And it was actually 14 miles because my birthday's on the 14th. So I'm going to do 14 miles. I always do something hard on my birthday. So I did this 14 miles. And I was like, all right, man. And like, I was tired, but it wasn't too terrible. And so I said, I'm going to sign up. I'm gonna compete in something else. I want something else, like that competition drive was there. Like, I'm gonna do it within this realm. Like, what do I want to do? So of course I go, oh, should I do half? Nah. Should I do a full? Nah. How about you just go run for 6 hours? Okay. So that's where I signed up for that 6 hour. But it was one of those, like, same idea, right? Yeah. Of like, I need that competition. I want that, like, I want to have that drive and that, I don't know, man. There's just something about it I think so many people could benefit from. Even if it's like on like a local powerlifting meet or a local mud run. It doesn't have to be a Spartan, or you're doing a 5K.
Right.
Like, you just starting out, go do a 5K. Like, just something, man. I think so many people could benefit from that mentally, that it would do so much good. Do so much good. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. And it makes training easier. As weird as that sounds, but it makes it so much easier, like, accountability wise, is you have that extra thought in your head of like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go train today to feel good and look good and whatever. Well, it's like,
you got your purpose, you got your
I have
goal.
to perform. Yeah, I got to train to perform a little bit now.
You go to work to pay the bills.
Hell yeah.
You got to work out to get that thing done. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I know we've talked about that on prior episodes of like, you don't want to show up like for like a lifting meet. I don't want to show up on that platform and people would be like,
what is that guy doing here?
Why are you here? And
yeah,
for most people, they're never going to say that anyways, because most of the people there, it's such a tight-knit, cool community for the most part, where people will at least talk to each other, right? And they're like, hey, man, where you from? Oh, this is your first meet. Awesome. So they're going to be rooting for you.
Right.
You can be in the same damn weight class, and they don't care, It's unless you're at the highest
That's when
level.
Kind of roams around.
Yeah, and it's funny, man. Like, we went to World Championships in Vegas. We'd done some smaller competitions. We go to Worlds, and it was like a different feel. Like, people would still talk to you.
Yeah.
But like, your warm-up room was fucking silent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody's talking to each other in there. Like, people and for me, that's good. Like, I want to be in my own head. Like, I'd put my headphones on anyways, and just get in my world and start trying to go to that dark place, right? And like, just getting ready. But it was like, everybody that was that way, and it was silent in the warm-up rooms. And it was like, unless you were asking, hey, can I share a bar with you? Can I use these weights or whatever? So it's a different feel. But for the most part, everybody's going to be supportive. Mm-hmm. I know all the other meets that I've done or coached people in, like, I've helped other people that I'm not even coaching that I've never seen before. Like, I'm like, hey, man, maybe you should do that. They're like confused. It's their first meet. And like, hey, do this for your warm up. Okay, what are you trying to hit for your lifts? What's your opener and blah, blah, blah. And, there's a lot of that, that just camaraderie and, so
support community.
Yeah. And I've seen that like with the runners too, like at different running events and races and things like that. I stick out like a sore thumb.
You think so?
When I do, at running events?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Most runners aren't built like me.
I'll say is the body shape.
Yeah, most runners aren't built like me. If you ever go to a 6-hour race, they don't look like Darrell, right? Most of them are runners. Like, I mean, when I say runners, like, I'm not a tall guy. Like, if you guys don't know me, I'm 5'9", right? So I weigh close, 190. Like, most runners at my height weigh about $130, $140. So they look at me and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And I've had that, and the look when people come to you like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah.
Like, are you?
Yeah, they're like, "Well, you're here. I don't know if I should talk to you."
Yeah. So, but a lot of times it drums up conversation.
Yeah. And then they're like, "Well, how did you get here? Is this your first race?"
Yeah. Exactly. And it's cool, man.
Have you seen I can't remember the name of the documentary, but the runner, her name is Lorena from Mexico.
No.
So she doesn't even speak Spanish. So where she's from, they're still indigenous. She wears her dress while she runs. And,
oh, wow.
And these like chanclas. And she wins. She does ultras, like 100-mile races plus. And she wins every time. Her father ran marathons, and then she just kind of liked running, and they live in like the hills. Like, right. There's like no running water, like, and she travels around the world, North America at least,
and just whoops everybody's ass.
She just beats everybody, and she's just standing there like in her dress, like her sandals are on, and man, she just kicks and everybody knows that, like, she's popular now. Mm-hmm. So everyone knows they're gonna lose to her.
She shows up, everybody's like, damn it.
So she's, everyone's there and they're like biofreeze and they got their tape on their arms and their little backpack and their hat and their glasses. She's there like, she just smokes them. And it's like a weird, and she's from a place where they're known for runners, running, but her endurance is just off the hook. She doesn't blast out of the gate or anything like that. And but I think, talking about somebody who shows up to a race and it's like, might not have the traditional body type or look, but
never underestimate your competition, right?
Oh man.
Yeah,
it's just things like that are pretty incredible. She just kind of likes it.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I think I'll kind of do this for a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll whoop your ass. But it's funny, man. You get people like that naturally are just better at some things than others.
That's just incredible.
It's similar to that. Like I've been at lifting competitions, right? Either powerlifting, Olympic lifting, or like the super total. And there's people in different weight classes where you'll look at them, they'll step on the platform and you're like, there's no way you're going to, holy shit, how'd you lift that? My very first competition I did was down in Santa Barbara. And it was a small meet at like a local CrossFit gym, maybe 50 competitors total. I don't even think I had anybody in my weight class. Yeah. I think I was like, oh yeah, if you complete a lift, you win this, right? But there was a kid there, I call him a kid, he was like 23. And he had just graduated from Santa Barbara, University of Santa Barbara. And he was in the 155s, something like that weight class, right? And he was like a skinny kid, pretty ripped up, shredded, but like just a skinny kid. I watched him pull like a 575 deadlift.
Oh my God.
Right? And that was like my first one. Like,
did he?
How in the fuck did you just pick that up? So, and then I watch him bench press and he hit like 195 in the bench press. And I'm like, something's not adding up.
Wait a second, man.
Something's not adding up here. And his squat was like middle of the road squat. So I, start talking to him. Like, okay, like, how old are you? How long you been training? What, what are you doing? And we'll come to find out he was a cross country runner.
Okay.
So he had a ton of like just lower half strength, right? And typically cross country runners don't have that fast twitch. I'm going to yank a heavy deadlift. But he had done, he started through high school. He did track. He was a sprinter, right? So he's got that fast twitch. I want to say he did track his first couple of years at Santa Barbara also. And then it was cross country, but he just had that explosive strength for the deadlift. And it was like 150 something pound kid, and it was his first meet.
Wow, that's incredible.
Cool. Yeah, it was like somewhere between 550 and 575. And I remember just being blown away because I'm looking at this kid. I'm like, there is no way you should be able to do that right now. You're like just looking at him, right? But it's funny, man. Like people, it's deceiving sometimes.
Yeah,
it's deceiving, and I've seen that a ton, like at powerlifting meets too, or even Olympic competitions. Olympics kind of the big one because a lot, that's just the fast, explosive, either a snatch and clean and jerk. And you watch somebody, you're like, how'd you get that weight above your head? How did you do that? Like physically, you don't look like you should be able to do this, So it's kind of cool. It's fun to see stuff like that for sure. For sure.
Has Rachel surprised you like that? Like, is she one of those people? Yeah.
Yes. So I watched Rachel, I coached her, trained her through as I was also training for competitions at the same time. Mm-hmm. A lot of the meets that I competed in, she competed in, same ones, whatever, championships, same thing. And like strength wise, like I watched her pull a 335, 345 pound deadlift. Rachel's not a big girl. You know what I mean? She's like, she's strong, she's fit, she has great muscle to her and definite, but I'm just talking like body weight wise, like that's a good lift.
Yeah.
Right? I've watched her squat 300 pounds. Right? I've watched her clean 210 pounds. Like, that's pretty gnarly, dude. That's pretty gnarly. Like, some of the stuff I've seen her do over the years, like, And, you know, like with Rach, I mean, she understands it now that she's been training and coaching for a long time. I think she kind of understands like what she has done. But in the moment, I think it was just like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be able to do this. It's like, well, you're really not. Like, you know, and like I would never in a million years say that to somebody, right? Like, because you don't want that to plant that seed in their head. But like some of the stuff that she's done it's absolutely incredible in that way. You know, like to see some of the things that she's done, like in competition, some of the things that she's done in the gym, some of the CrossFit workouts that she did, and the times and like like are just incredible. Mm-hmm. But again, it goes back to her mentality of being able to just black out and do something and go and like put herself in a different place and just
get through it.
Yeah, I mean, like most people don't have that on-off switch to be able to do that. You know. So it's cool, like as a coach, to be able to coach somebody who can do that.
That's cool. Yeah, it's gotta be fun.
Yeah, it is. Where it's like, oh, it's like having that new car. Yeah. Right. Where you can.
This thing will go.
Yeah. We can push this. Let's see how fast and how far we can push this.
Yeah.
Right. And Rachel's never one to back down. You know, so I could tell her like, all right, you just. You know, for you CrossFitters out there, all right, you just did Murph, now we're going to do Fran. And she'd be like, all right, let's see what the fuck happens. And it's like, oh, you are nuts. You're absolutely nuts. Yeah, so Rachel is a whole different type of batshit crazy, like when it comes to working out. And it's cool, it's fun, like as her training partner. But sometimes I'm like, oh, God damn it. I got to try and keep up with this, right? Yeah. And that's where, like, I'll throw different shit at her that I know how to do that she doesn't, you know? Or, like, different things like...
Brand new movement?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do this.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, you suck.
Yes, you can't do it.
Yeah. Are you going to teach me? No. Figure it out. And then she will, and she'll start whooping my ass with that, and I got to come up with something else that's new. Yeah, man. So it's cool though. Like as a coach, when you get people like that you can push in that direction, right? Like I've had different people, even like when I was coaching football, that I could teach more to, right? And you knew they were going to eat it up and be able to apply it and thrive, right? So, yeah, I know we have been all over the place today with our.
That was good.
Yeah, good conversation. Good conversation.
So let's see. What's the takeaway? Takeaway is find some. Purpose. Stay busy.
Yep.
The weather's getting better. If there's even any virtual runs, sign up for them.
Yeah. East Bay Beer Runners, they're doing some stuff, right? Hit up Ramon.
I think they had a run yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, fine. You know, and like I said, competition's not for everybody, and that not everybody needs it. But I always say, you know, try and find something, especially as, you know, we're coming out of this pandemic thing. Hopefully, in the next however soon, whatever. Even if it's virtual stuff, like find something to give yourself that little push, something you can hang your hat on, be proud of, because it helps, man. It helps you. You know, like David Goggins says, pull it from your cookie jar.
Right.
You got your cookie jar of things that you've done in the past, you know, that are things you're proud of.
Yeah.
Everybody should have that cookie jar, whether it's something physical, mental, you know, something you've got through in your life or whatever.
You overcame.
Yeah. I think that's big. I think that's really big.
Find your environment.
Yeah.
You know,
find your peoples.
If it's solo, cool. If you like the community, cool.
Yeah, you'd be a lone wolf.
You're tired of walking around your neighborhood?
I'm a one-man wolf pack, Mike.
Drive around somewhere, you know, like find new places to hike.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. New mountains to climb.
Yeah.
Valleys to cross.
All right, shut up. You're an idiot, man. You had to take it one step too far.
Rivers to row.
Please stop. Please. Yeah, guys. So do all that stuff. Do all that stuff. I think that's all we got for today, guys. Next time, hopefully we'll have Rachel back on with us. I know we're trying to get a couple episodes lined up, a few guests coming back, maybe a couple return guests, and a few new ones. So if you got any questions for us, guys, shoot us a email, a direct message on Instagram or Facebook.
Drop a review.
Yeah, drop us a review. Those always help, you know, and, you know, share this with some friends.
Check out the website.
Yeah, check out castironworkouts.com. Still got our $2 for 2 weeks special. If you guys want to check out the programming, see what we're all about, check out Mike's recipe cards he's been building with my recipes.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else you want to tell the people? Check out the book if you haven't got the book yet. Whatever it takes. It's on Amazon.
Well, if you like sports cards or you're interested, check out Big D, Little D.
Yeah, Big D, Little D Sports. Mm-hmm. We'll be doing some more stuff here at the gym. Talking about maybe putting together a little small type of card show where we have a few vendors here and some fun stuff, man. Some fun stuff. Other than that, guys, hope you all are doing well. Hope you guys get outside, get some sunlight with this warmer weather we're going to start having. And hit us up. Hit us up. We'll see you guys soon.